Hi, my name is Richard Goerling, and I am a police officer that trains resiliency and mindfulness to first responders. I've been practicing mindfulness myself for about 10 years and doing training and research for about the same amount of time. The reason that we train mindfulness meditation to first responders is because it's a proven way to enhance our cognitive resiliency, our physical resiliency, and our psychological resiliency. And today's 10-minute guided practice is a very simple foundational training in mindfulness, and more specifically in awareness training. So what we'll do today is we'll guide you through a 10-minute sitting meditation so you can find a comfortable place to sit. That might be in a chair, that might be on the floor, wherever you prefer. There really aren't any rules, there's no right or wrong way to do this. And so to begin with, we are going to use sound to start our meditation, and we'll use sound to conclude our meditation. And we'll start with one bell, which will begin our meditation, and we'll finish with the sound of 3 separate bells. And the idea is to focus your attention on the sound at the conclusion of the meditation, to listen to each separate resonance of the bell, and on that final 3rd bell, to completely listen and focus your attention on that sound. And as the resonance fades, when you're ready, you can bring your attention back to the space that you're in. So get comfortable, and we will begin with the sound of our bell. Let's start with a few deep in-breaths and out-breaths. So slowly breathing in, filling those lungs with air, and slowly and completely exhaling. And just anchoring our body, anchoring our awareness in our breath. And paying attention to this powerful breathing experience. You can keep your eyes open, you can close your eyes, whatever you're comfortable doing. There really aren't any rules to how to do this. If you're sitting in a chair, you might find it most comfortable to have your feet flat on the floor. If you're sitting on the floor, maybe legs crossed, legs stretched out. Again, there aren't rules for how to do this correctly. This isn't about right or wrong. This is simply about being comfortable and learning the skill of attention to our breath. So now allow your breathing to find its natural rhythm. And bring the focus of your attention to the tip of your nose. And noticing the sensation of your in-breath, something as simple as the air flowing in your nostrils, noticing the temperature of that. And as you exhale, noticing any difference in temperature or moisture in your breath. And what we find when we make this attempt to focus our attention at the tip of our nose is that all these thoughts and maybe sensations in our body become very loud. And part of this practice is learning how to sit in stillness with some focus of our attention on our breath amidst all of the noise that's in our head. All of us have a constant mind stream that rolls through our head, and that's normal. Some scientists say we have some 70,000 independent thoughts in our head every day, and that's a lot of thoughts. And as we sit here, particularly if this is your first practice, you'll notice that the noises in your head can be really, really loud. You might also notice physical pain in your body. It's just a time where all of the sensations in your experience of being human sort of come alive and you stop long enough to notice those things. And so this practice is simply about focusing your attention on your breath, in this case at the tip of your nose, breathing in, breathing out, and allowing your mind stream to do what it does, allowing any physical sensations to simply be there. And it might be helpful periodically for you to take a nice deep inhale, a nice slow and full exhale. And as we sit in this practice, what we find is that our attention is constantly distracted from our goal, which is focusing at the tip of our nose and our breath at that particular place in our body, and the thoughts. And so as you find yourself distracted, just meet those distractions. Maybe you're thinking about what's to come, thinking about what happened earlier today. Those are all normal thoughts that roll through our head. So just notice those thoughts without wrestling with them, without pushing them away or dragging them into your thinking. Just simply bring your attention back to the tip of your nose, to the sensation of breathing, breathing in, breathing out. And the exercise here, what actually helps our brains to rewire for resiliency is that distraction. So welcome the distraction, meet it without judgment, and bring your attention back, in this case, to the tip of your nose and your breath. And again, you might find it helpful to take a deep in-breath and full out-breath, just to anchor yourself in that breathing. And the sitting practice of awareness to our breath is probably one of the most difficult things that we do. The constant distractions of thoughts in our head. And again, perhaps physical sensations that distract us. Maybe there's an old injury that you're reminded of. Whatever it might be, maybe it's emotion. It's all these sensations that we experience as human beings, which are normal. And when we sit in silence and stillness and focus on our breath, we're heightening our awareness to all of these things. And our goal is to cultivate a skill that allows us to bring our attention to one thing with purpose. In this case, we're bringing our attention with purpose to our breath at one particular place in our body, the tip of our nose. And when we're distracted, we notice that distraction without judgment, and we bring our attention back to that place. This is a skill. It's a skill of cultivating awareness. We might refer to that as situational awareness or tactical awareness. But this is a fundamental skill of human performance. Very simple, yet not easy. And in this practice, we're developing a skilled relationship with our breath that we can use in a formal practice like this, where we're sitting and meditating, or we can use walking, or we can use driving a car, we can use relating with other people, and perhaps most importantly to many of us, we can use operationally in the field, doing the work that we do. And honing that performance and that resiliency begins with a practice like this. And as a reminder, we'll conclude our meditation with the sound of 3 bells. And as you hear those bells, focus your attention on the sound and follow the resonance of that final 3rd ringing of the bell. And as it concludes, when you're ready, you can bring your attention back to the space that you're in. Well, welcome back, and congratulations on completing a 10-minute sitting meditation. And if you're like most of us, what you'll find is perhaps some feelings of frustration when you sit and you meditate, as your mind's constantly distracted. We have a goal of being focused with our attention on our breath. In the case of our last meditation, it was the attention at the tip of our nose, noticing the sensation of our in-breath and our out-breath. And yet we're constantly distracted by thoughts, by feelings, by sensations in our body. All of that is normal. And as we practice, what we find is that will always be a part of our practice. Expert meditators are still distracted by thoughts in their mind, by sensations in their body. And the skill in mindfulness meditation is simply learning to be present with those experiences. It's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad. So to normalize, again, the distractions, it's perfectly normal for all of us to be distracted by thoughts in our head and to feel like they're not what other people experience. And particularly for those of us who are first responders, we often are met with thoughts and memories of trauma. That's to be expected. And so the encouragement is to learn to sit and be present with the experience that we have with trauma and with stress, but also certainly to ensure that we're getting the appropriate care for those things and seeing our mental health clinicians, seeing our medical doctors, and cultivating healthy social and emotional relationships in our lives as well. So thank you for joining us on this 10-minute guided meditation, and we look forward to seeing you the next time.